The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. It is another week of my absence during my surgical recovery. I don't think that's what they call it. But you're hearing this as I am resting my voice. This is pre-op. That's how they talk in, the doctor world. Pre-post-op.
Yeah.
Everything's pre and post-op, you know what I'm saying?
What
What's
about during
during op? I don't know.
I think it's
just the op.
It's just op. But you say we'll have that talk pre-op. We'll have that talk post-op. But we don't say we'll have that talk op.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's probably dur-op.
Duropathy.
Well, they can't really talk to you
I
while
don't know
you're
what
in
that
the
means,
op.
but it's...
Yeah, you can't. Okay,
You'll be under.
Maybe if they're like, we'll
Are you gonna be
decide
under?
that, I'll decide that during op. Because he is deciding things during op.
Have you ever been under before during an op?
Yes, I wisdom teeth, I think. And then also my ranula.
What?
That thing when I had a clogged tongue duct and it made a big bubble. I think they had to do me then too. But I think maybe just once time. What about you? For your
I just love that
asshole?
you don't know if you've been put under or not. You're like, I think I was put under.
I don't really remember. It's not that remarkable to me. But I know, I guess
Yeah.
it is remarkable. But some people go under so much. I mean, people are getting surgeries all the time.
Yeah, I've been under twice for colonoscopy and endoscopy, and I think that's both. They do both at the same time. They put a tube and they meet in the middle, I guess.
Oh God.
I don't know what.
Did you wake up while you were under?
What?
My sister did.
I had weird visions of them rolling me over. I have memories, but I don't think I woke up. But I have.
Oh.
What?
I don't know.
No, that's freaking me out. But are you having fake memories, Andrew?
Probably fake. Probably fake. I think I was I was worried about how my dick was going to look when they were rolling me around.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Andrew. You were so, did you try to check if there were female doctors or anyone that was going to be a woman in the op?
Yeah, I made sure that everyone was blind, and I was like, just good luck.
I'd rather blind people operate on me than anyone see my little dick.
Someone read my dick in Braille, and they're like, it's small. It's small. We figured it out.
Oh no.
I think
Your dick anxiety makes me so sad. Just all the extra effort you had to go to protect it from being seen in the world. All the things, all the hoops.
dude, I've known nurses. They do talk shit about what they see in there.
Of course, they're humans.
Yeah.
It's like when doctors smoke. You go, wait, doctors smoke? Nurses smoke? It's like, no, they're flawed people too.
Yeah, my dad was a cancer doctor. He during a little bit after the divorce, he started smoking a little bit. He tried to keep it on the low. He didn't get too addicted.
I mean, Obama smoked. I always remember that whenever I start to project too much perfection onto anyone. I'm like, Obama smoked. Everyone's flawed. Wait, your sister
cool as
woke
shit
up,
doing
Noah?
it.
I know he did. It made me want to do it.
Yeah, she was getting 4 of her wisdom teeth removed, and the doctor told her
4?
that while she was in the procedure, he asked the nurses to hand him forceps or something, and all of a sudden she raises her hand and tries to hand him something.
No. That is okay. Well,
It's terrifying.
I cannot wake up during this because I
like
just don't
Scalpel?
understand how you don't have pain when you're sleeping, or it must sedate your nerves in some way because you would be when you're sleeping and I do something I would cut you, you would wake up. It's different than sleep for sure. I'm sure there are anesthesiologists listening being like, this is boring. I'll tell you exactly.
It reminds me of
Google it.
Norm Macdonald's bit about his, dying from a heart attack. And he died in his sleep. He didn't feel anything. It's
I know, it's they
think he
definitely
felt
do
it.
wake up and go, maybe. Yeah, it's not just beep, 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 beep.
They found him dead on the floor. I think he'd rather be alive in bed or what was, I forget what the joke was, but yeah, everyone always goes, he died in his sleep. It's fine.
It wasn't a thrashing, fighting death off beneath the covers and like just screaming in bed. But as long as you were just horizontal when you did it and there was a pillow nearby.
I've woken up from a calf cramp, not even a bad one. Or like restless legs dead syndrome.
Restless dick syndrome. Wake up! Oh my God, restless leg. Not fun. Oh fuck, my neck is still doing it. I'm still suffering the little, what do you call it, a crick in your neck?
Yeah, a crick. Wait, what do you, post-crick?
I'm post-crick. I thought I was post-crick, but it's still going. Too much.
Where are you
being
right
on
now,
planes.
by the
I'm
way?
in Boston.
Are you in London?
I'm in Boston. No, I'm in Boston. I got here last night at like, what is it? It's noon or something like that now. Noon 15. And then got in last night at 11. No, 10:30. So who cares? And then I hate when people are like exact what time.
Yeah,
Literally,
they break it down.
Who cares? And also, you're hearing this like 2 weeks later. But it's wild because I don't know what time I am.
What time was it though? Like exactly.
I landed at 10:30 p.m.
Okay,
from
cool,
London,
cool.
and I was in London for I landed in London on Monday morning in London time, and then I left to London.
Was it a surprise?
Yeah, I surprised Chris.
How
I went to
London.
London.
How did that go?
Well, people need to know what it was because no one knows what it was first. So. I know you know what it was, but do you?
No, I don't know what it was. I'm pre-no.
Okay, so it's Chris's birthday, and he was going over to Iceland with his friends to bike ride. Chris is my boyfriend. If you're just learning this, if you're pre Chris. He was over there with his friends cycling through Iceland for fucking 9 days or something insane, and then they went to London at the end of it. I have a stain on my shirt to just like hang out, and then it was his birthday on the 5th, and I was supposed to go out to London to meet them afterwards just to hang out all week in London. But then I had to get surgery, so then I was like, I can't go to London. I'm sorry. And he was totally understanding, and it was just kind of a bummer, though, because we were really looking forward to being over there together at the end of his trip when we had not seen each other for so long. It would just been nice. And what he didn't know was that I still planned on going, but I was only going to go for one day, which is something that he has often done for surprises for people. Like he once flew to Australia for less than 24 hours to go to someone's wedding and like flew 24 hours to be there for 12 hours and then flew back just to surprise someone at their wedding. So it's like in his playbook of things to do. And so I was more than happy to do it because it was so fun and he didn't see it coming at all. And he was totally fine with me not going. And obviously didn't care at all, but was like, we were both like longing for each other pretty heavily. I think like an arduous bike trip made him just like, we just like got closer during this time apart. It was just sweet. And I could tell that it was bumming me out so much to pretend that I wasn't going because all day when I'm in London at 11 a.m. He's not getting in until 10 p.m. So all day he's traveling from Iceland to London. And it is his birthday in the States. He knows I'm awake during that time. And I can't talk to him. I called him from the airport in Chicago on my layover, which was midnight his time on his birthday. And I put a bunch of blankets over my head in the lounge because it is so hard to get anywhere quiet in an airport that doesn't sound like an airport. So I I go in my layover, I have a little bit of time and I go with the American Airlines lounge so I can have peace and quiet. I put a bunch of fucking blankets and, scarf and a jacket over my head to make a little sound booth to be like, I am in bed. I'm just thinking about you on your birthday. I hope you have and he didn't pick up. So that was failed. Then I sent him a text, and then I'm flying, and I fly over there, and I land, and I'm texting him all day. But I get him to my hotel, and I just slept all day. I was gonna go explore London, but I was so tired. I landed in the morning in London. I went to my hotel, and I slept until 7 p.m. And then the surprise was supposed to happen at I was supposed to be there at 9 o'clock at the place for the surprise, and
so his friends knew.
his friends knew. So I arranged it with his friend Hamish Blake, who is of Hamish and Andy, which I've told people to go watch. So Hamish knew, and his friends also knew, but Hamish was my, contact. And so I'm texting with Hamish, and he was like, okay, the plan is, so I came up with this plan. For a while, we were like, oh, I'll just show up at a dinner, or I don't know. I've done different surprises before. I think the last time I did it was, how did I surprise him the last time? I think I can't remember it for some reason, but I just like show up different places, and then it's always funny. But this time I was like, it's his birthday. Have the guys take him to a strip club, get him in a room, buy him a lap dance, get him in a room alone, have him blindfolded, and then I will come in and in a private room where there's not like anyone can see, and I'll like dress like a stripper and come in and like give him a lap dance or whatever. And then, so that was the plan. But I didn't have any stripper clothes, and I tried to order some on Amazon. They are probably arriving now because it was so back ordered. So I had no slutwear, and I don't really have any in my own possession. I have like some stuff that I've gotten, but it like doesn't fit right, and it's not even cute. And so I had planned to go shopping in London during the day to buy a stripper outfit. I bought like I have stripper heels. And I had those, but I had like no sexy underwear. I had nothing. So I'm like, oh no. And it's 7:00. I slept way too late. So I go out and I went down to Harrods, which is like Neiman Marcus of London. And I'm at like La Perla, and a bra is like $400. I'm like, there's no way I'm spending, like, this is disgusting. So then I go to Zara, and I'm just like combing through Zara trying to find any slutwear. There's hardly any, but I found a couple things. I went in once and I was like, this is bullshit. And then I tried to get a taxi to go to the sex shop across town, and then I couldn't get a taxi. So I go, okay, I'm going back in Zara. I got to make something work. And then I found stuff in Zara. So then I go back, I'm getting ready. They are like texting me like, we're on the way to the hotel. I'm staying at the same hotel they're staying at. So I can't risk leaving the hotel. Like, what if Chris decides to like go make a call in the hallway or something, and then I see him? So I have to leave before they get to the hotel. So I get in an Uber minutes before they get to the hotel. I go to the strip club, Platinum Lace. It's in like,
does the strip club know you're coming?
Circle. I don't know. It's some area of town. Okay. So Hamish said that his friend, one of the guys, called some guy that the manager said we were going to have a VIP section, but no, they did not. I get there and it's not clear. So I go inside and I just find a dancer, and I say to her, I'm like, hey, I have this idea. And then she loved it. And I was like, okay, so like, I think it's best to find, like, I had adjusted the plan by then. I was like, okay, I think the best plan, because if he gets blindfolded, he might be like, are they going to rob me or something? Like, it just, the blindfold is going to make it either too suspicious. He'll think it's me because it's like so obviously a surprise, or he's going to be like scared. So I said, I think it's best if there's so many strippers that he can't really tell me from out of the pack. And I bought a wig also. So I said, I think 3 girls. I'll buy him a dance. As soon as he walks in with his friends, you guys go, Chris, birthday boy. I'll tell Hamish ahead of time that it seems like they called ahead of time to be like, Chris is the birthday boy, grab him immediately. So the girls act like the boys have called ahead. And so as soon as I go wait in the bathroom, I get changed. I came in a dress that I thought was like good. And then the girls were like, what did you bring to wear? And I was like, oh, this. Yes. And I was like, but I have some extra stuff. Then they're like, no, put that on. So I put on this other outfit that was a little bit sluttier. Portman in that movie Closer, like his pink wig, like it felt so, and immediately I was like stripper vibes. Like I felt so powerful, I felt so sexy, it was so fun. And so then I go out and they're like, go girl, you got it. It would have been so funny
if you stopped and did like 4 dances and made a quick $2,000 like on the way over there.
I honestly, if his friends wouldn't have been there, I would have. It was because they weren't even dancing, they were just like moving like this. They were just like back and forth, like going up and down the pole, like just like with their backs up against the pole, like going up and down. Like there was no like acrobatics going on.
I love that the girls helped you. Such like girl power.
Yeah, they loved it. It's like it was 3. It was like the little. It was like The View. We were around a table, the 3 of us talking about boys and talking about the business and talking about like surprising. And they were all at first like, is he gonna like be mad that you're there? Like, are you going to like? What, like, we get topless, and like what if he like has a they were kind of like, what if he's turned on by us? And like, are you good? And I was like, oh no, I'm into all this. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, clearly, like they were like, is he going to be really embarrassed that he gets caught? And I was like, no. This is like our thing. And so I was like, no, I love this stuff. I was like, and I even asked them, I was like, so after you guys, my plan was three of them would give him a lap dance. And then I would just come in like another girl that was just like, what are you guys up to? And then just come in. And then I don't even know what I was going to do after that. Like, I was like, I'll probably just go like, hey, it's Nikki, please. Just know it's me. And so rip off my wig and be like, do a jig. And
yeah, give him a noogie.
Yeah, honestly,
gotcha,
it's
silly.
so awkward for me to like be around because these strippers are so intimidating because they're so sexy and so like feminine and like I just felt like a little bit klutzy being there and older. You know, I'm probably at least 7 years older than them. I think they're probably 30 at most. So I guess 8 years older than them. I'm 38. And so
it's England. It's London time.
Yeah, and I was like practicing like, what are you guys doing in here? What's going on? Who's the birthday boy? Is this the birthday boy? Does he need his chimney swept? And so they were laughing because I was
if
like,
I was blindfolded, I'd be like, who's making porridge? Like, what kind of crazy woman is...
I have like one tooth.
Does anyone need porridge? It's like the girl from Les Miserables. It's like
one of the witches from Macbeth. I'm straddling a broomstick.
No, dude, this is a badass elaborate thing. I can't. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally. Okay. Like, this is ridiculous.
Then, so I really wanted it in his mind. The best. If you're doing a surprise, the best way to do it is to eliminate, especially with a guy that I've done surprises with before. Like, he knows that I have nothing to do on this Monday. Like, it is possible for me to do this. I don't think in his wildest dreams that
you were in L.A. You were in L.A.
No, I was in Vegas. So I was in L.A. for a week and a half.
Still,
and then I was in Vegas the night before. Then all day on Sunday.
11 hours away from London.
I mean, I was in L.A. I was in L.A. Then Vegas on Friday night. Saturday, I got in I had a flight at 7 a.m. out of Vegas. All day I taped with Graham Bensinger, which is going to be airing.
Oh shit! I forgot all about that.
Wherever you are. So I taped from. I land in St. Louis on Saturday after the show in Vegas on Friday night. Thank you, Besties, for coming out. And then I film all day until 10 p.m. with Graham. I do a set that night. It's like all day long in my apartment, film crew. And then Sunday morning, I wake up and start getting ready, and then I leave Sunday night. So yeah, it was a busy time. But so to eliminate any questionable doubt that he had that I maybe was going to be there or wasn't going to be there, I decided to meet up with a friend of his that he would think I have no way of contacting, like a friend that I know through Chris, but who I don't even follow on Instagram. But he lives near me. So this guy, Pat Niehoff, one of Chris's friends, lives near me. So I contacted Chris's brother. I got Pat's number and I said, Pat, will you meet up with me today? This was Sunday before I left, like an hour before I left for the airport. I go, meet up with me. Let's take a picture together like we just ran into each other. And then tomorrow I will send this, and I will send it to him 4:00 our time, which will be like 30 minutes before he sees me at the strip club. So 30 minutes before Chris sees me at the strip club, I send him a selfie being like, I just ran into Pat on the street. Then I text Pat to text Chris, I just ran into Nikki. I heard it was your birthday. Happy birthday. So Chris is placed in his mind. I am so in St. Louis, Pat and me.
Yes.
And he would never in a million years think that Pat and I coordinated that, because Pat and I don't even have each other's info through multiple parties it would take. So I have covered my bases so steadily with this. So then also, just because Chris would have gone, I wouldn't see Chris until 11 p.m. on his birthday. I know that he would be a little bit suspicious that I haven't given him any kind of gift before that. Like, it would just seem weird that I've just totally missed it. So I wrote him texts all day being like, I love you so much. We're going to celebrate in Boston, because he was coming here for my surgery. There was this picture that was taken in during his Iceland trip. They had like a professional outdoor photographer, like National Geographic style, taking pictures. And there's this one close-up of Chris's face, and he looks so rugged, so handsome, really like portrait style close-up. So at first when I saw this picture like a week and a half ago, I was like, God, that's National Geographic. Like, that is so amazing. It's a picture I keep like looking at and like kissing, because it's so close up, it looks like he's like right next to me. I do a Halsey, you know what you used to kiss your phone
Yeah.
on Halsey's face. And so I wrote a guy that makes posters for comedians and like has done a bunch of graphic art based on like different shows. Like he'll take shows and remake them. So I wrote him and I was like, will you do a National Geographic cover, but have it say sexiest man alive, like People magazine style? And so he made this amazing cover and I wrote all these funny captions that was like, and let me just read it really quick. And I'll send it to you, Noah, to post so we can have it on our socials so people can see it. But it's so well done. And this was enough to give him like, okay, it's a little present before I get there. It says, Chris Convy, sexiest man alive, special report. Do you see this?
That's great.
Sexiest man alive.
He looks like an explorer.
Yeah.
He looks like
It's black and
Magellan or
white.
something.
It has like an Icelandic scarf on. He looks like serious. It says, the sexy issue with special guest editor Nikki Glaser. Chris Convy, sexiest man alive. Special report, how one man's voyage to Iceland accelerated glacial melt. And then there's a quote. It says, from the president of Iceland, Gundi Thorlacius Johansson. It says, you can't bring that kind of hotness up here without dire consequences. That being said, we'd love to have him back. Hubba hubba. And so I sent that to him. And
he melts the whole country.
so I sent that to him literally 15 minutes before I see him. And I go, do you have 2 minutes to look at this present? This is all I have right now before I go to sleep. Or I'm sure you're going to sleep soon. I hope you have such a fun night for your birthday. I sent that to him. He's in the cab on the way over texting me. I'm in the bathroom of the strip club. And he's like, oh my God, this is hilarious. I miss you so much. I wish you were here. And I'll tell you the rest when we get back from break.
Cliffhangers.
So I'm in the strip club, in the bathroom, awaiting their arrival. I know they're 10 minutes away because I was staying at the hotel. Hamish writes me and goes, we're leaving right now. They're leaving late because Chris is a little depressed, I come to find out. He's just like tired from the trip. He misses his girlfriend. It's his birthday. He's just like feeling a little bit like slowed down. And I can tell from the text, like it really honestly broke my heart because I could just tell he was just being, it's really cute when guys, if you're a guy out there in a relationship with a woman, I don't know if this is for everyone, but there's something really sweet when a guy gets like a little bit tired or a little bit like sad and just like, it's kind of like, I just miss you. And just is kind of like pouty about like, I just want to be with you. Like it was just there was a longing for me that I really enjoyed, but it also made me sad because I was like, oh, he thinks I'm not going to be there. And he's like, he just needs his girlfriend right now. And he's just feeling sad. And so I'm waiting in this bathroom and then Hamish writes me and goes, we're outside. He goes, John, one of the guys who is part of the plan and knows what's going on, just decided to go to the ATM. We're already late. He was like, come on, John. He was like, John knows the plan. I don't know what he's doing. So then John has to go to an ATM. It takes forever. I'm still waiting in the stall.
John's like, I got to take out like my kids' savings for the prank.
Plan.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's not for me. It's not for me. It's for like, I want Chris to make sure this is real, so I'm going to cheat on my wife.
Shout out to John, who did lend me $200 to pay off the strippers because I didn't have enough cash because I got fucked over from my cash exchange in London. I gave them $400. The exchange rate is 86 cents to the dollar, and I got back $246 for a $400 exchange. So I got fucked, and I didn't realize it till I was a block away, and I looked at my cash. So anyway, shout out to John. Thank you for stopping at that ATM. And he did let me pay him back. So that was really nice of him. So then I'm waiting. And then, so Hamish goes, we're inside. And I'm like, yes. And I knew these girls are going to grab Chris right away. So I am waiting in the stall. And by the way, they wouldn't even let me, the management and the strippers like weren't in connection, and the security, they weren't in cahoots.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, before this happens, I say to the strippers when we're at the table, and I hate to call them strippers if that's not a nice word, but I like that word. And if you don't, I totally will not use it. But for now, I'm going to use strippers. So the exotic dancer strippers and I are talking at the table, and I go, so after I walk in, you guys, I don't know, maybe we'll dance a little bit together. I don't know, maybe we'll giggle, whatever. But then you guys beat it. And then I was like, can I like blow him or whatever? I said something like that. And I was like, and they go, oh no. Well, there is a room. It's $2,000 for that room. And there's no cameras. And I'm like, no thanks. I'll just go back to my hotel room that I'm probably already paying that amount for too.
Can I pay more for more cameras?
Yeah. I'm like, less cameras makes it sexier. I'm confused. So they were like, no. And by the way, the rules are different here in the UK, or I guess in London, for strip clubs. And I go, what do you mean? And they're like, lap dances. Get this. Lap dances in London, no touching.
What?
Yeah.
What is the point of a lap dance in a private? They have private rooms all over the place. They're like, they can use this private room, this one's $400, this one's $600. And then you go in and the women just take off their top and dance for you just at a closer proximity.
No grinding?
No touching at all. No on your lap.
Oh.
You can't touch them. They can't touch you. There's no touching. They just dance in front of you, Andrew. Have you ever heard of anything
Is
like
this post-COVID?
No. This is
Pre.
No, I've heard of like strip clubs where you just can't touch them. Like a lot of it.
I've heard of that. You can't touch them. But that
Were
kind
they
of
fully
even
topless,
falls.
or they have
fully
have
topless,
nipple,
but they cannot.
covers?
That means they cannot get on your. There's no lap. This is a
dance.
This is just a dance that's not on a stage, and it costs you $400 more to have them on sea level. And
he's gonna know it's you if you grind. He's gonna be like, "Wait, this girl is bad.
So-
this girl's really." Good.
when I heard that, I go, I had already paid them my portion of the money that I was going to give them the rest later. And so I would have just said, let me just pretend to be a cocktail waitress then. Like, let me just get them in the VIP area and walk in and be like, what do you boys need? Like, that's the same thing this is going to be, because you guys can't touch them. What I wanted it to be was like, we are a couple that talks about like, fun stuff. And I wanted to walk in with him having all these girls on him, touching him, like him kind of entranced. I wanted that. So it was pointless to me after I found out he's going to a dance recital, essentially. Like, who cares? Like, I just
Like a
put him in a
middle
room with
school
a
dance.
laptop and have like him watching Hustlers. It was like, what is going on here?
And then you come in dressed like a computer.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Hello, who wants drinks?
That's our role play. If your boyfriend's addicted to porn, just dress up like a laptop.
It is.
Just seduce him. Dress up like a pop-up
Make sure,
window.
make
Live
sure it's a
Jasmine.
skinny razor one.
Oh yeah.
I love the idea too of him texting you because he was so sad because he missed you, and then he goes to strip club. He's like, I don't know, like I feel good now. Like
He did not
You're
want
seeing it
it.
in real time.
No offense to Holly, Cassandra, and Crystal, who, by the way, I also talked to them about how they figured out their names, because I was like, oh, I'm trying to become a pop star and I'm going to make a name for myself. And it's so fun because you get to like name yourself. And they were talking to me about how they came up with it. And one girl was like, oh, I just had a crush on this girl all of grade school, so I just named myself her name. And then another girl was like, I just Googled top 10 stripper names and I picked one. And then another girl was like, I think it's just my name. So then
She thinks it's her name.
I'm in the bathroom like, why did I just waste all this money? Whatever, who cares? It's gonna be fun.
Are you anxious at all during all
well,
this?
I did
Or
send.
is it
I'll play a thing that I sent the group chat for my girlfriends, and you can kind of see me in the bathroom waiting. And
I am in a strip club bathroom, and Chris is about to arrive, and I don't even know what the plan is, but I'm here and we're doing it.
Okay, so that was me. I was a little bit nervous.
Very closer.
Like
the
exactly
movie.
like Natalie
Yeah,
Portman closer.
yeah.
Okay, so I am in there and just like kind of I'm not freaking out because I already paraded around in it in the club, and I kind of felt like, oh, I'm just like one of the gals, even though the gals are wearing like thong lingerie, like
Wait,
their asses
if you
are
were
hanging out.
walking around the club, were you getting solicited by men for lap dances?
There was no men there yet. Like it was kind of like
so
dead.
early. Still early. Okay.
Yeah, it was too early already. But I have been to a strip club before where I dressed normally and I got groped by a man once. That was an old man and
yeah.
he thought I was a stripper. So it was kind of flattering, but also like, what the fuck, dude? But I could have. I literally was like, there's no difference between me. I just watched the J-Lo documentary about her in that movie Hustlers, and she plays a stripper in that. And I'm like, this is just, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I'm just playing a character. Like I could do this. And it was really fun and exhilarating to dress that suggestively. And it was empowering because these girls are walking around naked without a care in the world, like not naked, but in lingerie, and it's no different than being at the pool. Let me just be honest. Like there's no difference between what these girls are wearing and what you see at a especially in Miami on the beach. So I am waiting in the bathroom, and then Hamish texts me 2 minutes after they say they've arrived. He texts me, "There's been a kerfuffle," and I'm googling kerfuffle because Hamish is Hamish is so funny. Let me just read some of these texts with him. Like, Hamish Blake is, I think, the funniest man alive. I just might say this. So he says, "Hey Glazy, it's Hamish here from Australia and soon Iceland. I hear whispers you could join us in London. This would be a giant cherry, yet still perfectly proportioned and looks great in any kind of outfit. Cherry on the trip." He said, "Are we secret squirreling this? What can I do to help?" I said, "Okay, I know it's a crazy idea and maybe too out there, but my ideal surprise would be for him to go to a strip club and get a lap dance in a dark room alone and I show up. You think that could happen? I feel like it's something he'd be down to do on his birthday." He said, "I am with Hato right now." Hato is one of the guys on the trip. "And if our giggles and screams and yelling are anything to go by, I'd say now we've calmed down in a cool, nonchalant voice. Yeah, whatevs, babe. Sounds cool. So funny. Yes to this. It will be a real slog for Hato and I, but I guess theoretically we could start investigating London's best strip clubs." And so then he gets back to me and he's like, "Okay." He goes, "Secret squirrel. Hato has a friend who is a BLL, bleeding local Londoner, and he tells us Platinum Lace is the kind of place we should go to pull off your surprise. I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off, since you really can't walk up and be like, 'I'm on tonight.' But in my vision, you are already at the club in a false mustache reading the newspaper. We exchange discreet nods when we walk in. I organize a lovely lady to take Chris somewhere and word her up. More discreet nods are had. You slink in. Surprise executed. You guys kiss. Confetti falls from the ceiling. Some other guy sees the kids. Some other guy sees this and thinks you're allowed to kiss the girls. A fight breaks out. Some genuine London bobbies are called. We take off their helmets and bongo Chris's favorite song. The cops are too impressed to be angry. We're made honorary dukes and duchesses. Scene. Thoughts?" And so later on he goes, "Hey Nick, are we still good to go for Operation Dancer in the Dark? I think we have everything settled at this end. Same venue. I think we'll be getting there maybe at 10. And then he goes in and he goes, "Operation update. You're on Mazen's list. So say something like, 'I'm with Mazen' in English. Should be a great way to get clear access. Then you can get in before us and set up and lay low. Heck, get a few dances and close some deals with business associates." And then he writes, "The Eagles have landed." And then, so we're in there and he goes, we're texting back and forth about like, oh, what's going to happen. Chris just walked in the room, by the way. Chris, I'm reading my messages. You want to say hi? Oh, come on. Say hi. Everyone knows you and loves you.
Hey, everybody.
I'm in the middle.
Hey, Chris.
I'm just looking.
Oh, you're just looking. Okay, he's trying to help me plug in my stuff. I think I'm good for now. Wait, let's see how much time I have. Let's just go until it's just so I can finish the story. Babe, you're the best. Thank you so much. But seriously, get the fuck out of here. I'm just kidding. He goes, "You're so close, Raven." That's your code name, by the way. And so he's just, it's so fun
that's
to
a good name.
coordinate with them. I said, "Okay, so it's two of them. They will approach you guys like you have called ahead and arranged it. Crystal and Holly. They know it's the birthday boy's name is Chris." He said, "Crystal and Holly, welcome to the code name game. You're outstanding. This is wonderful." And he says, "Copy that, Raven." He calls me Raven. "We are in the lobby waiting for SeaWorld," which is Chris, and Vaughn, trying not to hurry him to the point of suspicion, but also, kind of hurrying him. And I said, "Just let him know you guys have something planned. Just hurry him up." And he goes, "Okay."
I like when someone has a nickname and the other one's just their real name. It's like the strippers.
So then
It's like T-Pain and Jeff. I got a little lazy in the second half of that. It's hard to nickname everyone.
It really is.
Especially when there's like 15 people involved. Yeah, so go ahead.
So he goes, "Now we have the money." So he goes, "We are outside." Then John decided to go to the ATM and he knows the plan. John. And I said, "Okay, I have service in here," because I'm in the bathroom, and then I hooked up to a local hotel's Wi-Fi, because before I got nothing in there. And by the way, I'm sorry this is so disjointed, but I'm in the bathroom because they will not let me, security won't let me sit in an area by myself where I could be watching but like not be seen. And my wig is too much like my own hair. Like I kind of bought the wig as so I bought a bunch of wigs off Amazon just to figure out, while I'm in the silent mode, to figure out like my character with my pop star character. So I bought a bunch of wigs, but I didn't want to buy a dark wig because I'm just not feeling like my character's gonna have dark hair, even though that would have been the perfect wig for this because it looks so much not like me. So anyway, I'm in a wig that kind of looks like me, so I don't want to be too conspicuous. Yes. Conspicuous. So I'm trying to hide out. And then as soon as I go in this little back section, and I'm not in like the back areas, I'm just like in a little booth by myself. Security comes up to me and is like, you need to get out of here. And I was like, you can't be here. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I have like a thing I'm surprising my boyfriend. No sense of humor. They don't want to play. They're like, no, get out of here. And I go, fine, I'll go to the bathroom and hide. Like, you can't get me in there. So I go in the bathroom. And by the way, the strippers say to me, the second you come in the room and kick us out, and first of all, you can't do anything with him physical. And I go, but he's, what if we were boyfriend and girlfriend and just came in the club? And they're like, well, the security doesn't know that you're dressed like this. They're going to think you're a dancer. And I go, tell them I'm not and that I can kiss him. And they're like, the second they see you kiss him, they're going to pounce on you. I'm like, well, then fine. I don't care, But I'm also like, why can't they?
Are these security?
For some reason, the girls and the security and the management are not connected. Like there is no.
Yeah.
And the girls also all of a sudden stumble upon this problem where they're like, wait a second. What if as soon as these guys walk in, we've already worked out with Nikki or whatever my name is, that Raven, that they've worked out that they're gonna grab Chris right away, and then all of a sudden it dawns on them. They go, but what if the other girls get mad because it looks like we're like just like scooping it in too quickly? And I'm like, tell the other girls I picked you and that we planned this. And they're like, no, like it was so, the politics of a strip club kind of emerged as just seedy and like not being able to communicate with each other, and everyone's out for themselves. It's like kind of like the Serengeti, like it's just every man for themselves. And so I'm in the bathroom. Then Hamish types in after he goes, okay, we now have the money, heading back into this.
There's a kerfuffle.
Yes. He goes, we have the money now, heading back over the road to this little inconspicuous little mom and pop strip club. I said, so the management doesn't know the plan. It's like the girls felt we are telling them. So once I reveal myself, I can't touch him or do a private dance because there's no touching rule here, even for lap dances. And there are cameras in the private rooms. So it's going to be a real quick reveal. And there's no point for me to be dressed like a stripper because I can't even touch him. He says, we're here. And then seconds later, he says, here at 5:50. 5:52. I mean, this is
so early for
well, no, it's 11 o'clock there. But then for some reason it converted to this time. So it's 5:50 in Boston. He goes, there seems to be a kerfuffle, ... And I'm like,
yeah.
Like there's problems because the security was like, there's a girl hiding in the bathroom. At this point, I'm in the bathroom for 20 minutes and I'm guessing they've noticed. And they're like, this mysterious girl that like was giving us trouble already and talking to the strippers and plotting. Yes. And so... And I'm waiting. There's no one coming into the bathroom because it's a woman's bathroom at a strip club. It's the safest place. It's like, honestly, if you want to go record a podcast, that's
Take
a sound booth. Yeah.
Go there. Yeah.
And so he says, and then I Google kerfuffle because Hamish has such a grasp on the language. I'm like, I know what a kerfuffle is, but what is his definition of it? And it says like, a fight, a confused, I forget the definition, but I was like, oh no. So then there's a kerfuffle.
Fight over truffles.
And then I write,
Fight over truffles.
And then I go, at 5:52, there seems to be a kerfuffle. 5:54, what's going on? Did we get made? That's what I say. I say made and it took me a while to come up with that word because I'm like, there's a word that means like when the jig is up, And I said,
yeah.
And then so 5:54, what's going on? Did we get made? That's 2 minutes after he says kerfuffle. Then at 6:02, I write, I hear nothing. I'm assuming all hell has broken loose. I'm in the bathroom still awaiting any intel. Then at 6:07, I get a message that says, go, go, go. But by the way, it did not deliver at 6:07. It was sent at 6:07. I was in there from 6:02
Chris has already
until...
had a boner for a while now.
Yes. So now I am in there from 6:02 until 6:20 when one of the strippers, one of the three, Holly, runs into the bathroom and goes, we're almost done, because I said the amount of dance I paid for is 10 minutes. And I'm supposed to come in. I wanted to come in at about 8 minutes, but once I found out they don't touch them, I was like, I'll come in at 2 minutes. I mean, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. And I said 2 minutes because I did not want Chris to have to sit there and like humor these girls who are just dancing for him. Like, it's just so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, he would just be so I run out. This is I'm in the bathroom for 25 minutes now. Hamish said go at 6:07. I am running out 13 minutes later. So these girls have given an extra long strip dance, which I tipped with someone else's money later on, extra. So I run out. Hamish is there. I throw Hamish my bag. I run across the room following Holly. Holly, see her slip into the curtain, and I hear Chris go, "Oh, where did you go? You're just taking off." Like he's just trying to make small talk. And I peer inside, and I notice that all the girls are topless. And before they weren't. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about the topless part. And so I quickly just like pull up my top up to my, like, I didn't even take it off. I just put it up to my like neck so I can be topless too, you know? And I peel back the curtain and I walk in and I'm like, and then Chris goes, well, hello, who is this? And I'm just like quiet and I just kind of like stare at him and like, just like, and he goes,
Oh my
and he gets up and he goes, hi, what's your name? I'm Chris. And I go, and he's like so polite. It's so sweet. He was like, hi, what's your name? I'm Chris. And he's just being like, I know exactly.
Wait, are your tits are fully out right now?
Yes. So I just pulled it, like, I quickly just pulled it up.
Is there anyone else in the room?
The two
it's just
other
you
girls.
and the strippers and Chris?
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
it's just Chris.
Sorry,
like right before I walked in, it's like a,
He wants to shake
you know, it's
your
like
hand.
a curtain partition. You know, it's like curtained off. So
Yeah.
I peer in and I see their topless
Hi.
and I go, oh, fuck, I forgot
Who
the
are
topless
you?
part. So he goes, hi, I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. Puts out his hand and he gets up from the couch. And I go, we're not allowed to touch you, sir. Not even on the hand. But I go, my name's Nikki. And he goes, hi, Nick. Oh my God! And then he screams and he just like scoops me up and we fall onto the couch and he's just like, oh my God, oh my God. And we are running. And then the girls are just like clapping. They're so excited because they were in on it. They were just like, oh my God. Like they were so happy and like so excited. They were like, we were like stalling. And I go, I was in the bathroom. I didn't get any reception. And Chris is like, I can't believe it's you. I can't believe this. What is happening? What is happening? And he was just so freaking cute and so happy. It was so adorable. It was the best. Like he cannot get over how much this surprise meant to him, but I can't get over how much his reaction meant to me because of course I knew he was going to have a good response, but it was so sweet. I know that women understand what I'm talking about and men in relationships too with men. Like your man is always like this masculine energy, like I've got it, like I'm, you know, there's something about when a man is like needs you and is just like so relieved and like just doesn't want to let go and it's just like I missed you so much. Like he has just been in like a Shackleton expedition in the Arctic, like, and he was just like and he hasn't been around women. Like there's been no feminine energy, like. And so he was like just so holding on to me so tight. And then we finally then the security guard immediately comes in and it's like, get out of here. You know, like you guys got to get out. And I'm like, he's my boyfriend. I don't work here. And he's like, well, you do now. And he hands me a W-9. And so then I go out and it's so sweet. Like I thought instantly Chris would be like, you know, oh my God, you got it. Like, cause he was very excited for me to meet all of his friends. And two of those friends I had not met before. It was I knew Vaughn, I knew Hamish, and then it was John, and then this other guy Guppy. And I didn't know those guys. And he's always been very excited for me to meet him. So I thought it was just like gonna be me coming back to the table. The guys are already in this VIP section, like throngs of strippers in there because these guys are so hot and clearly have money. They're in a VIP section. There's like all the strippers in the club are in this VIP section. And Chris is just like, we're just in this like outside the room, and he just like takes me to the corner and is just like, I can't believe you're here, and he just is like, let's just leave, let's just go. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, wait, I thought we were gonna like hang out for your birthday. He's like, okay, yeah. And then he's like kissing me, and I'm just like so obsessed with the rules of this place of like you can't kiss, you can't touch, and I'm dressed like a stripper that I keep kind of making the kisses short, like kind of like. You know, just kind of like, okay, like we're done here.
You're like, do you have $2,000?
Yeah.
To Chris. I know a room. I got a room.
And that's so funny. And so
Wait,
he goes, do you not want to kiss me? And I was like, no, there's rules here, babe. Like, I'm paranoid about the rules. He was like,
This is so
it was just, so then I go, we are just like in this corner for like 10 minutes, just like, you know, he is just so happy to see me. It is so freaking cute. I am loving every second of it. And then we go back and we, you know, have to chat up the strippers. And like, here's one thing I learned about strippers. So when I meet all of his friends, it was so fun to see all those guys. And they are just like, you know, birthday schmirthday. They are just so focused on like, you know, just having a good time. And they're so respectable. This is not debaucherous at all. I want to make that very clear. Like these guys are all like the sweetest, like, and they have families and they're just being respectful. These girls are just like, it's like they're all doing a podcast. These girls, they're just like talking to them. And these girls are very, I realized I am one of the best people when it comes to small talk. I am truly you know, when you do radio for a really long time and you interview people and you sometimes interview duds and you have to be good at keeping conversation going. I can pretty much do it with anyone. When I was waiting for Chris to show up and biding my time with these strippers at the table, I felt like, oh, these girls are so bored. They don't want to talk to me. Like I have money for them, but I've already paid them and they know it's like a flat rate. They're not going to like juice me up and get more. I'm not like there for them. Strippers are the best at small talk ever.
Yeah,
because it's
incredible.
all they do. They had the best little lines to like I was studying them of just how they keep conversation going. I go back over to this section with the VIP section. They're chatting up these guys and they're so excited about me being there with Chris, and they're introducing themselves, and they're just, but it is so transactional. I mean, the next day the guys left shortly after we left right away, like 5 minutes later we left, and we're like, we're going to go back to our private room at the hotel. And the guys, we met them up within the next day and got the scoop of what happened. They
Did
stayed
you
like
stay
10
in
minutes
character
longer
on the way to the hotel?
Yeah, I kept on my on my outfit. I kept on my wig. Like I walked out on the street like I was getting off work. It was so fun. And we get back to the hotel, by the way, and I'm in a pink wig. This is a really nice hotel. It's the Cantin. If you know anything about London, it's where Oscar Wilde was like arrested. It's like very famous. It's in this nice part of town. So I walk into the Cantin. There's like a couple outside like smoking, this like rich couple that's like, you know, on vacation. And Chris and I get out of this like sleek Uber, you know, and I'm in a wig with platform leopard print heels on that I wore on Jimmy Kimmel, but like with my outfit, they looked insane. I'm wearing this really tiny skirt, a crop top with like dangly things. And he goes, you know that they think you're a prostitute. And I go, oh my God, yes. And I go, so do you do this often? To Chris, like loudly in the lobby. And I'm like, I've been here before. This is a nice place. What floor are you on? Like, I'm just like playing it up. It was so fun. But we found out the next day that these girls who were so nice, and I was like, oh my God, we're leaving these guys with these girls and they are going to have the best night because these girls are like so down. They're like, oh my God, they know each other's names. They're all getting along. They said as soon as the guys went to like, they pay these girls well because they, you know, wanted to treat them like, you know, they're working. So they paid them for the conversation to hang. And Hamish was talking about on the way out, he was just like, the girls were like, well, we'll walk you out, you know, and he's walking and the girls like kind of like, the girls are like behind him a little bit. He's walking ahead and he's like, thank you so much for like figuring out this surprise. It was such a great night. You guys really put in all the effort. And he said by the time he had been talking to himself for like a minute and a half because as soon as the money stopped, they peeled off. And it was later. Like, it's so transactional. It's so fucking interesting. That's my strip club story. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with more because I got to change out this power cord. All right, we're back, and we have actually a special guest. He's back and better than ever. It is birthday boy. He's 41, and he's fresh. And what?
41 and tons of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Happy birthday.
Good. Thanks, buddy.
Chris Convy is here. He's been a guest on the show many times before. So I just told the entire story of the surprise, all the way to us leaving, all the way to us recapping with the guys the next day. I mean, everything. Can we just get, I guess, Noah, Andrew, do you have any specific questions for him? Because I'm just guessing from a perspective of someone who just heard the story, what gaps you would like filled in from Chris.
Was there any inclination on or any knowing that she was going to come, or was this 1,000,000% a surprise? I know she set it up very well, but
yeah, million percent surprise because she'd sent me a picture. I mean, that sort of thing, you know, in your body and in your heart where all your friends and family are. Like, it's not like on the top of your mind, but I know where Nikki is. You know, like I knew where everybody is, and you know, they weren't in London. You know, the only guys in London were the slices of heaven, the guys I was with. And first of all, also to pull off a surprise I've done things like this before. It's no easy task. Yeah. And to coordinate with a strip club, I mean, it's a land of lawlessness.
That's so true.
It is lawless. So the amount of work that people had to do while like Nikki's preparing for surgery, and then, you know, I've got these guys that are like doing heavy relaxing or wild or like insane cycling in like weird conditions. So I'm just so appreciative that everybody, you know, did everything they did to pull this off. And I was absolutely it was just one of the most shocking moments of my entire life.
I was talking about how you were in the room with the girls, and just because it's a lap dance that doesn't there's no lap being, it's pretty much they're just doing a dance recital for you from a distance. And how you even said afterwards, I was alarmed that Hamish hadn't written me back. I thought it was delayed. So when I realized that you had been in that room trying to make small talk and just being polite to these women dancing when there's no interaction, there's everything that's fun about a lap dance was not a part of that. Like, can you just say like what was going on in the room? And like you were just like being polite to the girls. You almost.
Yeah, I was talking to them about their lives, like asking them where they were from, while they're just, like dancing and doing the same moves. And it was once a song ended, I was like, okay, great. The guys bought me, they bought me this thing. I've done what you're supposed to do when your friends ask you to tell you have to do this thing. I went to the room and I was like, okay, great. And then another song started and I was like, I don't know if I can do this because you're just sitting there and these three women, they're so sweet. Crystal, Holly, and Camila.
Camilla, yes.
Yeah.
I said Cassandra, yes.
Camilla's from Spain.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the other...
When I came in the room and then right after you were like, it's so funny because I was about to tell them.
Because we were talking, I was like, they were like, where are you from? And I was like, do you know where Nelly is from? So like Nelly is like my benchmark for everything. When people, because nobody knows what St. Louis is. I mean, they're in London, Camila's from Spain. Like, I'm just like, do you know Nelly? They're like, yeah. And it's harder as people get younger now. And so I always am like, do you know Nelly? That song, Hot in Here and all these things. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, I'm from where that guy's from. They're like, oh, really? Cool. And then I start talking to them about like where they're from and all these things. And I am like moments away from being like, hey, I'm gonna be back here. Am I allowed to say this? Yeah. I'm gonna be back here next year with my girlfriend. You guys should come to her show. She would really like you guys. Like I'm on the cusp of saying that, and Holly like leaves, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is winding down, and stuff like that. And they're like, what they said, like, oh, should we come to St. Louis sometime? I'm like, oh yeah, you would love my family and friends would love you guys. You'd be great. And then Holly comes back in,
and just your sweetness when I hear through the room, like, where'd you go? Like you were just, you'll take anything you can get to create conversation. And the fact that this girl left and then came back, like I could just hear. I know Chris so well that I know he is just trying to come up. Like, oh, the fact that she left and came back, that's a thing to comment on that isn't their boobs in front of him. So he's just like, oh, where'd you go? So you're back? You're just taking off like that? Like he just made some kind of comment, and then that's when I came in.
Yeah, and then, I was giving him compliments too. I was like, you guys are great. Your boyfriends must be, very proud. Like, you're just like, you're just trying to be really,
so
really
supportive.
sweet.
Your father's not so much.
They're like, do you want to do blow off our ass and shut up?
Yeah.
Like, can you just stop?
The other thing is like, I'm 40. I'm 41. I just turned 41 that day, and some of these people are too young to be. Like they're just too young for me, and so you're just like trying to be like complimentary and nice
and
respectful. Yeah, yeah. I always think
you're just patting them on the top of the head and giving them a mint. You're like, oh, you're doing good.
As soon as he turned the strike of 41 at midnight, you get Werther's originals that just materialize in your your coat pocket.
And none of these girls were like seemed like these transactional like. They just seemed like sweet girls that were like, they had a job to do, and it was entertain me for unfortunately like 7 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was so long.
Part of me thinks it's like the accent, like because it's so. We just think they could if I hear that accent, you're smarter than me right away. Yeah. So if it's a stripper with a very like posh English accent, I think there's no way she's taking off her clothes for money.
What do people in London? Do they think any accent sounds smarter than them? Because to us, it is like the top.
I've got Holly's number. We should call her.
It's 34, 26, 22.
Yeah, she's coming to the shows in May. We really should get Crystal, Holly, and Camilla to come. We
gotta go back there. I doubt they'll all still be working there because they're probably murdered by then. But it was a nefarious place. But no, they'll probably still be. We gotta go back to Platinum Lace. If you are in London, what was that part of town?
I think it was Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, Piccadilly Circus. Platinum Lace on in Piccadilly Circus was the place to go, and it was really nice. But I just don't understand. Will you explain to me the appeal of getting a lap dance when you can't be touched? Like, what is the difference between a stage? I guess it's personal. They're looking you in. There's eye contact.
I've never been a part of that situation where
What would be the purpose? There's private rooms everywhere, and
nothing. I mean, for nothing. Like it was, for like 2 minutes, you're like, oh, this is cool. There's like a variety of nice people to hang out with.
yes, yes.
But then, that novelty wears off pretty quickly, and it doesn't seem like the most exciting thing to happen for more than 2 minutes.
And I told them that when we were walking back into the hotel, they were like, they think you're a prostitute. And I was like, do you do this often? Sir? I should have done it my accent that I was practicing.
There was hints of Julia Roberts, like from Pretty Woman, going back into that hotel.
That there totally was. That was kind of like the outfit, the cropped
showing,
outfit.
and then the pink hair.
Yeah,
She wouldn't kiss
that
you on the
wig's not
mouth.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kiss you on the That's just because I hadn't brushed my teeth in a while. Well, now
So,
we're in
Julia.
Boston. Chris and I spent all day in London yesterday. Not all day. We slept till 1. And then we went around London town. I had to go get a COVID test. I went to Starbucks. Then we went to McDonald's. We had a really great British day.
We walked into the place where Nikki was getting, it's a really cold, like medical type place where Nikki got her COVID test. She was like, behold London town. It was the only thing we had done in London together was to go get Nikki's COVID test.
I was like, I love seeing the sights. London. I was like, oh, look, Big Ben. And it was just a clock on the wall in this sad medical office.
Big Ben is just a guy giving you the shot.
Yes, just a guy named Benjamin. It was, and I got to. It was my first time in London. I saw we went to Buckingham Palace. We scooped by there. We just had a really great day, and then the best part of it all was just. I'm so used to just traveling alone. And if I haven't traveled alone, it's always been with Andrew. Andrew and I are very good travel companions. Like, we kind of like talk when we need to. We sit separately when we don't need to. I never like traveling with someone, like sitting next to them. Like, Andrew and I always sit separately on the plane. Like, I just don't want an expectation we have to talk. I have to say, I love traveling with you, my baby Chris. High five on that.
Hey.
My baby Chris. My little
He's
baby boy
41
Chris.
now, Nikki.
Yeah.
He's a grown man.
My Big Ben. He is. It was just
SeaWorld.
so fun because yesterday, SeaWorld, you get it, Noah. I was in a little bit of a mood because we got stuck in terrible traffic. I thought we were going to miss our flight. I was like, this is all going to get fucked up. And then, I think the best couples, when someone gets anxious, the other person smooths it out. And when the other person's anxious, the other person's smooth. And Chris just like kept it together. There were some slow people at the airport checking our bags, and they wouldn't get out of the way. They're just like lingering. You know when you get your bags checked in,
you get out
and
of
there's a
there.
long line that these people have just waited in and they were just as nervous about making their flight, and then they get up to the counter and they take their time, and then they get their bags checked, and the bags go in, and the woman
They're
has
safe.
lugged them behind the
Yeah.
counter, and then they just stand there and they go, and they start pointing like, and then if I go this way, and then they show them their ticket again and go, so the ticket on this, they just find shit to ask that they could literally figure out anywhere else from like a guy at a kiosk, but people love doing this. I am enraged. There's these people in front of us that are just taking their time, and so I rudely am like, oh, just take your time. I said it loudly, and Chris goes, we don't need to do that. Like, it was a quick, like, no. And I go, but they're just, and it was just such a moment of like, I was embarrassed because it was like the worst part of me that just likes to like say a little like cutting thing behind someone so that they can hear it. But if they were to confront me, I'd immediately be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But Chris was just like, we don't need to do that. And then Chris is the loveliest person to the woman helping us, and so much so that she like makes it extra special for us to go through. Like, it was just good to have you there to offset my,
Yeah, it was supposed to take us a half hour to get to the airport, and then it took us 2. And Nikki's obviously got this surgery coming up, so obviously Nikki's stressed because she wants to make the flight. And any little error at this point, it's like our whole plan becomes unraveled, and then it's this whole issue of getting flights rebooked and staying in London and all these things. So I understand why you felt that way, but it was like, I also have this thing when I'm abroad where I want.
yes.
If I do something like unbecoming or untoward, I say, "Oh man, I can't wait to get back to Canada to eat some syrup. And so if I ever do anything,
you save America's face.
Yeah. So like if I'm walking on the wrong side of the sidewalk and I almost run into somebody, I was like, just sorry, that's not how we do it in Toronto. Yeah. And so I'm always blaming things on Canada. But when people have your passport,
where Nickelback's from.
Yeah, they know you're American. You just
that's a good point. Your passport was there, and I will say the people that I go, take your time. They did have someone in a wheelchair with them, so that was like, but the wheelchair guy was out of the way already. So I did feel, and I like to give people in wheelchairs the same respect that I give everyone else. Like I'll definitely hold, I don't like when people are a little bit more babyish with people in wheelchairs or people who are handicapped. I understand giving them space and holding doors for them, helping them, and reaching a shelf. Like I will go out of my way to do things that they literally can't do. But I'm not gonna act like people in wheelchairs aren't still like assholes. And this person wasn't an asshole. It was the people that were with them. But I think that because they had a person in a wheelchair with them, they got to like be extra like, we need more space, even though they didn't. The person in the wheelchair was already on the go. And I just want to say,
I have a 41-year-old man I have to carry around. You don't see me acting like an asshole.
I have my little baby Chris.
Yeah, little baby
Carlos carriers.
My baby Bjorn. Okay, so that was our episode about my surprise. Any other final thoughts about the surprise?
Well, just how thankful I am to you. And Hamish is like the funniest person alive, and legit. And also like the kindest, like most thoughtful. He planned this whole trip, and then the fact that you two teamed up to do something so extraordinary was just, I'm so appreciative of it, and it was just one of the greatest things that's ever happened.
And shout out to Vaughn for making it possible too, and shout out to John for paying $200 that he didn't let me reimburse him for of the lap dance. And then to Hato, no thank you. No, Hato actually found the strip club, and so shout out to Hato for that. Thank you so much. And like everyone was just on board and gave us space. They weren't trying to make it about them. Like we left, we didn't even have to say goodbye to them. Like it was just a special night for us. And also thank you to London and Holly and Cassandra and Camilla and Crystal and also I don't know. This is the problem though, babe.
So nice to me.
Is that I don't know how to top it. Like last year I did a really good gift. The problem with Chris is that people go
next year.
Well, yeah. Well, last year I throughout our relationship have tried to buy you gifts like shirts and like bags and stuff like that. I have never once bought you a tangible item that you have like used and actually used in your life. I think one time I bought you backpacks from like Ravenscraft or like Ravensfjord or whatever, and it was like a backpack I knew you wanted, so I nailed it. But every other present has been a fail, not because he's mean or anything. It's just sometimes you just don't get it right, or the sizing right. And I was looking at shirts to buy you. I was looking at all these things, and this was already when I had the surprise planned. I am giving up on tangible gifts for you. It's all going to be either old Conan sketch people surprising you. That was the birthday present last year, or it's going to be me. But it's always got to be a gift for you, because my friends on the WhatsApp chat were like, "Oh my God, you're such a good girlfriend. You do the best prices." And I go, "If I could buy him a shirt, I would, but I can't." So that's why this has to happen.
That's why you fly 12 hours.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I would like to do, while I'm on the show, is give you a very public thank you, because it was the greatest gift in the world. I needed you so bad, and I wanted you to be there so badly, and I wanted you to meet those guys. Like you've met Hamish, and he's like the greatest man alive. But Guppy and John were so great, and I wanted that moment, and you'd heard me say that weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and you made it happen, and you brought me. Nikki showed up. I didn't have a flight home. I didn't know what I was going to do. So Nikki showed up and just brought me home. She paid for my flight home, got me seated next to her. And it was just, I don't know, it was really special and cool. And Nikki's the best.
And we watched Licorice Pizza and we hated it. Don't see it. It's overrated.
Really bad. Great performances. A lot of cool looking things.
Amazing performances. Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. Definitely an amazing. He is going to be a tour de force. I'm using that word a lot. Also, Alana Haim. Alana Haim is the lead. Amazing actress.
So good.
Filled with amazing actors. Shot beautifully. Paul Thomas Anderson. Beautifully directed film. But the plot was a waste of my time.
Well, waste of our lives.
It didn't make any sense.
It brought us closer. closer as a couple.
We hated it. And also, there's a pedophilic relationship that no one really comments on throughout the whole thing. And I'm
Between the
confused.
director
It felt
and
like
you.
a similar story between me and Crystal.
Hey, that's her
why
real
it was-
name.
That's why we didn't like it. It was too raw for us. All right, so that's the show.
Can I say one thing? It was my birthday the other day, and I had Besties reach out to me to say happy birthday, and it was so cool, because I've only been on the show a few times, to have those people reach out and say something so nice. So thank you to Andrew, Noah, and Nikki for having such cool, amazing people in their lives that they reached out to me to say happy birthday. So thank you.
Yeah. You're part of the show now, and they love you.
Happy
And,
birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, dog. Great to see you too.
Good to see
All
you.
right. Well, that's the show. Thank you guys very much. We will be back next week with another show, and hang tight while I'm recovering, and we might have some special stuff planned for you as I learn how to type. We'll see, and can't wait. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Keep subscribing, and love you guys so much. Don't be cool, and Jack.
London.
Post.
Post.
Jack Post. Follow him on Instagram. He's a friend
He's
of
a
ours.
good guy.
Jack Post. Great posting.
Yeah, he's killing it.